Good morning, Rayfield. Let's get ready for our Monday morning prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, as we go out today, we pray for your mercy, your blessings, and your protection upon us and all of our loved ones. We ask for your wisdom to deal with everyone and everything that we may come in contact with today and the rest of the week. We pray for those experiencing any kind of loss, illness, or grief, and we ask that you wrap your loving arms of protection around them and give them the peace that only you can give, Heavenly Father. It is Monday. Let's get ready for a magnificent Monday. Good morning, Rayfield. Well, Rayfield, it is definitely Monday morning, a magnificent Monday, and we are so proud and so privileged that we had the honor last week, Wednesday, April 14th, to provide the Pfizer vaccine for Rayfield students returning to school and community of Hollywood. I would like to say thank you to each and everyone in our wellness center, Miss Susan, Coach Kelly, Dr. Tracy, Mr. Frank, and everyone else who made an effort. Definitely Miss Vanessa and those in the front office who made an effort to help us advertise the vaccine to the community and to our students who are home. Let's continue to do that. Those of you who received the vaccine, you must return on May 5th for your second vaccine. And we can provide the vaccine again for those who have not had it yet. So please, guys, spread the word. Rayfield Family Literacy has the honor and the privilege of providing the Pfizer vaccine for the community. And we are very happy to be able to help those who need the shot. It is during this pandemic that we have learned a lot about ourselves and a lot about our community. We have bonded together. We are working together. We are Rayfield strong, and we are trying to remain COVID free. Help us do that by spreading the word. May 5th is the date that the CDR will be back to give the second dose of vaccine to those who've already had it and the first dose for those who need it. Let's be positive. Let's work together as a team. We are Rayfield strong, and we are COVID free, and we are springing forward at Rayfield. Let's get our day started. Good morning, Rayfield. It is another wonderful day at Rayfield Family Literacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge that we are beginning our beautiful, exciting counseling program. We are all excited because we are ready to move forward with our conferencing and counseling and dealing with anxiety, depression, and all of those feelings that we just need to handle. Well, everybody knows that we're in a pandemic, and even if we were not, we still have issues that we have to deal with as human beings. So let's talk about our Rayfield class curriculum for the counseling program over the next quarter. This is April. It is the beginning of the second quarter of the year. And so we have 6 weeks of activities that will take place in our counseling classes. So I just want to quickly share with you what that's going to be. So during the months of April, May, and June, we will be covering the following topics. We will have tons of tools to help us with feeling confident and coping with different types of emotional stress. For the first week, we're going to deal with anger, anxiety, depression, and sad feelings. We're going to manage all of those feelings. So we're going to call it anger management, anxiety management, depression management, fear, fear and sad are basically the same thing, but sad management is what they have here on the curriculum. So that's 5 days that we will talk during the first week of our counseling therapy about those feelings and coping skills to go along with them. Each class instruction is followed by class objectives, materials pertaining to the level of accommodations for specific students. So what does that mean? You know, everything at Rayfield is person-centered. So that means that I may have some things to talk about with one person and some different things to talk about with another person. Okay, so let's talk about week 2. Week 2, we're going to talk about appreciation, compassion, kindness, courage, and fairness. That's our curriculum for week 2 of our coping skills. Week 3, we're going to manage confusion. We're going to manage loneliness. We're going to manage frustration. We're going to empower our students to feel confident, and we're going to learn how to deal with surprises in week 3. Moving right along to week 4. We will learn to identify things that we love about ourselves. 5 things that I love about myself is our first order of information and our first lesson. For week 4, what does it mean to be respectful is the second lesson. What does it mean to be responsible is the third lesson. What does it mean to be polite? And finally, managing self-discipline. We've heard about that before. That's week 4. Moving right along to week 5, we're going to learn tips that will help us to be reliable. We're going to learn what it means to be sacrificial, self-sacrifice.
And even a short period of time.
Wednesday, which would be of that week, week 5, we're going to learn what it means to be accountable.
On your mental health. It will help you to amplify.
The 4th lesson for week 5 is how do I control myself?
In an environment.
And then the 5th lesson in week 5 is what does it mean to be committed?
This color has been shown to create feelings.
I know that's a mouthful. 5 weeks of curriculum in our next quarter. Well, we're already in it. So April, May, and June, we will be learning coping skills and how to develop our character and deal with emotional stress and behavior. I'm so excited, guys. As you know, we're going to be staying later at school. We will be staying 2 hours later, and we will be learning coping skills. We will be learning anger management and emotional stress. Learning how to be a better person every single day
is our goal here at Rayfield. And now that we've moved into our counseling services, we are so excited for all of you that will have the opportunity to participate in these. Staying 2 hours later, and we will be learning coping skills. We will be learning anger management and emotional stress. Learning how to be a better person every single day is our goal here at Rayfield. And now that we've moved into our counseling services, we are so excited for all of you that will have the opportunity to participate in these services. So let everybody know you won't be going home at 2 o'clock anymore. You won't be going until 4. And we're excited to have you here and work on our coping skills and work on our emotional stress. And in this great curriculum that we will be learning about. Let's get ready to rumble, guys. It's exciting.
Have a great day, Rayfield. Magnificent Monday. Chef Anthony will take it from here. Oh, I'm sorry. Art. Mr. Chevis will be taking it from here. It is Monday. We are going to have a great time with our art classes. Let's have a magnificent Monday. Have a great day.
Come on, sing this song. Tenders. One more time.
Good morning or afternoon, Rayfield family. Here are your weather forecasts for this week. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. High 86. Winds south southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. High 87. Winds south southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. High 86. Winds southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, except for a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny. High around 80. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy. High 84. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun with the chance of an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon. High around 85. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 83. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. These are your weather forecasts for this week. Keep your umbrella handy because some days we will have some rain in the forecast. Make sure that you keep yourself updated with the latest weather forecast as it will change from time to time by watching it from your television or listening from your radio or from any devices that carries their weather app. Thank you for tuning in and may you have a productive week. See you later.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave. You may be seated.
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Please pray along with me as we go to the Lord in prayer, going to Psalms 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye land. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pastures. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. Amen.
Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Somebody tell him thank you, thank you, Lord. Oh, come on. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, I want to thank you, Lord. Come on, tell me. You've been so good this morning, you've been. I gotta move on. Been so good. Is that anybody else's testimony about besides myself? Tell them you've been so. I see you, Betty Jackson. Been so good. Good to see you, girl. You've been so good. You've been so. Been so good. Hallelujah. And I just want to
We are still learning our Bill of Rights.
Oh, we have a right to vote.
I have a right to vote.
I have a right to see a doctor. I have a right to go to church. I have a right to humane discipline. I have a right to community outings. I have a right to talk. I have a right to education. I have a right to refuse treatment. I have a right to privacy and dignity. I have a right to make money.
I have a right to exercise. I have a right to.
Oh, sorry.
I have a right to see
my records.
I have a right to own
Possessions. I have a right to receive services. I have a right to no discrimination. I have a right to no physical harm.
3, 2, 1.
The resurrection of Jesus took everybody by surprise. The disciples weren't expecting it. They knew perfectly well if you followed somebody who you thought was the Messiah and he got killed, then that was it. We know of at least a dozen other messianic or prophetic movements within the 100 years either side of Jesus. They routinely ended with the death of the founder, and if the movement wanted to continue, they didn't say, oh, he's been raised from the dead. They said, let's find his brother or his cousin or somebody who can carry on this movement. We can see how those Jewish groups did that. This one did it differently. They had James, the brother of Jesus, as this great leader in the early church. Nobody said James was the Messiah. They said Jesus was the Messiah. Why? He's dead. They got him. Didn't you realize? They crucified. No, he was raised from the dead. The only way you can explain why Christianity began and why it took the very precise shape it was is, let's say it cautiously, first, they really did believe he was bodily raised from the dead. And then if you take the second question and say, why would they believe that? You can go through all the theories that they found themselves forgiven, that they had a fresh sense of the presence of God, that this was cognitive dissonance, etc. And you bring all those theories to the actual facts that we know on the ground from the first century. They just don't fit. The only way you can explain the rise of the early Christian belief that Jesus was raised is that there really was an empty tomb. They really did meet Jesus alive again in a transformed body, and the thing makes sense. Of course, when I wrote a big book on this, my philosophy tutor from Oxford, who was an atheist, read it, and he said, great book, you really make the argument. He said, I simply choose to believe that there must be some other explanation, even though I don't know what it was. I said, fine, that's as far as I can take you. I can't bully you into saying, therefore you must believe, because to do that requires a change of worldview. But once you change the worldview and say maybe there really is a creator God, and maybe this creator God really is sorting out this sad old world at last, then everything else makes sense in a way that it doesn't with any other possibility.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, March 8th, 2021. You know what time it is. It's time for a conversation with God. It is so good to see all of you who are joining us for this very beautiful day. There's no better way to start the day than to pray. And it is so good to have you all joining us, joining me this morning as we come together for this very special time of prayer. I definitely missed you guys on Friday, but I'm glad to be back today. I thank God for watching over each and every one of us over the weekend. Hopefully you had a blessed weekend, and by virtue of your presence here today, I hope you already said it this morning, but if you haven't, somebody ought to say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for one more sunny day. Thank you, Lord, for this day that was not promised to us, but you have made it so. Thank you, Lord, for your mercy and for your grace. Thank you, Lord, for every blessing that you have given me, because every blessing is a gift that I do not deserve. Every breath is a blessing, and we ought to be thankful. Again, I thank you guys so much for continuing to support this ministry, not only this ministry, but support me in this work. It's good to see all these people that join together because they believe in the privilege and the power of prayer. And I want to ask that you all continue to pray for me. Many of you may know that I tested positive for COVID on last Thursday, and that was complete surprise to me because I'm asymptomatic, don't have any symptoms. But I thank God for giving me life and helping me to be here. But I thank each and every one of you for your prayers as I go through this period of self-isolation, still waking up this morning, no symptoms by the grace and mercy of God. And I pray that will continue to be the case as we go through this week of self-isolation. But nevertheless, God is still good, y'all. Not just some of the time. He is good all the time. And he is still worthy to be praised. He is still worthy of all the glory, the honor, and the praise. And so that's what we do when we come together for a conversation with God. As his children, we come before his throne to share with him the things that we are concerned about, to request his mercy for ourselves and for others, because we know that and believe that our God, he can do anything. And so for our devotion this morning, I want to invite you to go to Exodus chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3, and we're going to read verses 13 through 14. Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 through 14. Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 through 14. And as always, if you have any prayer requests, please share the prayer requests in the comment section so that either myself and or our prayer warriors, good morning prayer warriors, can remember you in our prayers. So please don't hesitate. If you have a request for yourself or someone else, please leave your prayer requests in the comment section so that we can pray for you. Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. The Bible says, "And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. I am has sent me unto you." This morning, I want to speak to you from the subject, I am. Just those two words right there, I am. Now, I want to start out by asking you to finish a statement for me. Finish this statement. I am. All right, you fill in the blank. I am. Finish that statement. What do you say about yourself? Whenever you make an I am statement, you are declaring something about yourself. And one thing we all know, Proverbs 18:21 lets us know that life and death is in the power of the tongue. We have the ability to speak life and death upon ourselves and even upon others. The tongue, the mouth is powerful. What we say about ourselves, what we declare about ourselves is powerful. So you better be careful how you end that I am statement, because you're making a declaration about who you are. You are declaring and disclosing not only who you are, you're disclosing what you are like and how you see yourself and how you want others to see you and treat you. Be careful how you finish that statement, I am. When God calls himself I am that I am in our text today, he's saying something about himself. He wants the people to know, not only Moses, but he wants the people to know his identity. Because if you don't declare your identity and let people know who you are, the enemy will give you an identity. The enemy will tell you who you are. So you need to know who you are for yourself, because that's so important. So when God calls himself I am that I am, he is declaring that he is. Not he might be, not that he ought to be, not that he could be. He is declaring that he is the eternal, unchanging, everlasting, self-existent, supreme, glorious, most high God. I am the ultimate statement, is the ultimate statement of self-sufficient, self-existence, and immediate presence. That's what God is declaring about himself when he says, I am. Tell them I am sent you. In Revelation 1 and verse number 8, God said it again. He came back and said, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. There is no one else. I am all sufficient. I am self-sufficient. I don't need anybody else to exist. I am. I am. And not only that, many people say in declaring that he is I am, God is saying, I am whatever you need me to be. I am the Alpha and the Omega. And Jesus in John's Gospels, we find the seven I ams of Jesus, where Jesus is declaring his identity, letting the people know that who he is and what he is able to do for those who put their faith in him. He talked about the fact that I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the gatekeeper, and on and on. And in John's Gospel, he talks about the seven I ams of Jesus. So God has let us know who he is. But what about you? What about you? Who are you? How did you finish that statement, I am? What are you declaring about yourself? Well, over the next few days, I want to help us out to discover who we are in Christ Jesus, so we can have our own declarations about ourselves. We can have our own I am statements that reveal who we are in Christ, that reveals our identity, that reveals things that we need to know about ourselves and how we need to see ourselves. Because you got to be very careful about how you see yourself. The Bible declares in Proverbs 23 and verse number 7 that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. How you see yourself, how you define yourself, what you declare about yourself it says a lot. It becomes your reality. It's how you approach life based on how you see yourself. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So I just wanted to begin this series of I am statements and devotionals to help us to see who we are. And as you go through this day, I never want you to forget who you are. I want you to remember and say it to yourself as you go through this day and as you encounter the challenges of this day. I want you to remember who you are. So, what's the first I am statement that we're going to make about ourselves today? Turn over to John chapter 1 and verse number 12. John chapter 1 and verse number 12. Who are you? John chapter 1 and verse number 12. John's gospel says in John 1 verse 12, but as many as received him, to them gave he the power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. Let me say that again. But as many as received him, to them gave the power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this declaration that God is making about us? Here is a statement. Here's the declaration. I am a child of God. Write that in the comment section. Write it on your heart. Declare it with confidence. I am a child of God. And when you make that statement, you're not just saying something, you're saying a whole lot. I am a child of God. First thing I need you to know about that declaration, not everybody can say that. While we are all creations of God, but to say I am a child of God takes more than just existing. It takes a decision. It takes a choice. It takes faith. Turn your Bibles over to Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3 in verse number 26. When you declare that you are a child of God, when you say I am a child of God, you're saying something right there. Romans chapter 3 and verse number 20. Let's see where we want to go. I believe we want to go to verse number 26. verse number 26. I think I wrote the wrong one down. We are the children of God by faith. And I'm probably looking at it right in front of me. To declare, I say at this time, his righteousness, that he might be just and to justify of them which believe it in Christ Jesus, that we are the children of God by faith. I have to go back and find that one, but I got another one for you. Let's go over to Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8, verses 14 through 17. Romans chapter 8, verses 14 through 17. We are the children of God by faith in Christ Jesus. That's what separates a person who is created by God from a child of God. A child of God is adopted into the family of God when we put our faith in Christ Jesus. We are the children of God by faith. So when I say I am a child of God, when you say that you are a child of God, you are declaring that your faith is in the reality, the truth, and the fact that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And when you obey the gospel and you're baptized for the remission of your sin, you become a child of God. And so what does that mean? Romans chapter 8, verses 14 through 17. Paul said, for as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For you have not received, and when you see that term, the sons of God, it actually can be translated, you are the children of God. So it's not just talking about men, he's talking about women too. Those who are men and women who have put their faith in Christ become the children of God. You are the children of God, for you have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. I am a child of God, and by virtue of being a child of God, I am a privileged position. I'm heir to the promises of God. Whatever promises were made to the seed of Abraham, guess what? I can claim those promises. Everybody can't claim the promises of God, but as a child of God, you can claim those promises. You can claim the promises of God. When I say I am a child of God, that means that I can claim the promises of God by faith. And not only that, whatever those promises are, the promises of forgiveness, the promises of eternal life, the promises of the Holy Spirit, the promises of God's word, I can claim those promises because I am a child of God. But not only that, God doesn't just stop there. Go back to the Old Testament. Let's go over to Isaiah 43. This is one of my favorite passages. Isaiah 43, verses 1 and 2. Isaiah 43, verses 1 and 2. Isaiah 43, verses 1 and 2. Listen to what God declares about you and me, his children. Isaiah 43, verses 1 and 2. But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. You are mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be there. Through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, we talked about that. But that's one of the blessings and the promises that the children of God can claim. And the reason is, when you look at verse number 1, God declares, because you are my child, I know your name. That means I am intimately acquainted with you. Not only acquainted with you, I'm concerned about you. I know your past, I know your present, and I know your future. You are mine. I love you. I care about you. And whatever power I have as your father, I'm going to use it to protect you, to provide for you, to guide you, to strengthen you, to help you, to redeem you, because you are a child of God. Woo, some good stuff right there. I am a child of God. And that means that I am a recipient of the presence of God. I am a recipient of the power of God. I am a recipient of the promises of God. And if God be for me, who can be against me? So what is our declaration today? I am a child of God. Say it with confidence, say it with meaning, say it with understanding. When the enemy comes after you and the challenges face you, declare and say, I am a child of God. Let them know, let your problems know, let the enemy know who you are and whose you are. I am a child of God, and I will reflect the character of God, not just this day, but every day that he blesses me to be able to see, because I am his child and he is my father. Never forget it. That's who you are. Don't let the enemy tell you any different. You are a child of God by faith in Christ Jesus. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for, first of all, declaring and helping us to know who you are. You are the everlasting, the eternal, the all-wise, omnipresent, true, and living God. And there's nothing that happens in this universe without your permission. We thank you, Most High God, for blessing us with life and another day. You watched over us, Father. You kept us from all harm, hurt, and danger. You allowed us to open our eyes to experience this day we've never seen before and we will never see again. And Father, we know if we examine our hearts and we recognize that we're not here because we have been so good. We're here because you are so good. Not just some of the time, you're good all the time. And Father, we thank you. Thank you for your mercy and your grace that's made this opportunity possible for us. And Father, as you examine our hearts, we want to start out by asking you to forgive us of any sins we may have committed against you. Whether it's in word, thought, or deed, Father, we beg for your forgiveness. And Father, as we go through this day, help us not only to remember who you are, but help us to remember who we are in Christ Jesus. Help us to remember and declare that we are your children. I am a child of God. You know my name. You know my past, my present, my future. You know my purpose. And you have my soul in your hands. And I thank you for that. Not only that, but all your children who are joining with me by faith right now in this prayer, help us to remember who we are and whose we are as we go through this day. And when it comes to the promises, the problems that we face, the challenges, the temptations, and even when the enemy tries to give us and tell us who we are, help us to declare to him who we are, who you have called us to be as your children. And Father, please just watch over us and keep us from all harm, hurt, and danger. Bless us as we go through this day, Father, we pray for your healing for those who are sick. And I thank you, Father, for continuing to watch over me and give me the strength that I need to go through from day to day. Thank you, Father, for your healing power. We know, Father, that you're more than able to heal us of our sicknesses, be it mental, physical, spiritual, whatever it may be, Father. We're asking in Jesus' name that you will heal those who are sick and shut in among us, especially those who are of the household of faith. Father, we know we have the privilege of being able to do this because we are your children. We can call upon you not only for ourselves, but for others to intercede on their behalf. And Father, we just pray that you watch over those who may be going to doctors and undergoing procedures today. We pray that you will be with the doctors and the nurses that are attending to them, and that all will go well, Father, that you'll be in those hospital rooms, those operating rooms, wherever they may be, Father, protecting them and just bringing them out as only you can. We trust you, Father. And Father, and then after you bring them out, heal them, Father. Restore them back to the normality of health and strength. And Father, as always, we continue to pray for those whose hearts are heavy. Somebody, Father, that may be watching this right now, Father, has lost a loved one. We pray that you will comfort them, strengthen their hearts, Father, help them to understand that whatever you bring us to, Father, you're more than able to bring us through. And you promise to never leave us or forsake us. But we just pray that you will comfort them and strengthen their hearts, their minds, help them to know and remember your promises. And Father, we pray for those who may have lost their jobs, or maybe the relationship is not working out, or they're just going through the trials and tribulations of life right now, Father. And they don't know which way to turn. Help them to turn to you, Father. Reveal your glory in their lives. Father, give them the wisdom they need to make the right decisions, Father, that will help them to become all that you want them to be, to do all that you call them to do, and obtain all that you desire for them to obtain. Father, guide them. Guide them, Father. And guide us, Father. Give us the wisdom, the understanding that we need, the knowledge that we need to live as your children, to be able to walk by faith and not by sight. And Father, as we go through this day, bless us with the opportunities to be a blessing. Help us to remember your words so that we might be able to share it with those that we come in contact with, so we can help them to understand you, your will and your way, so we can be the people that you've called us to be. And Father, we just pray, Father, for this nation as a whole. We pray that you will continue to bless us to be able to have peace in this land. And we pray for our leaders, that their hearts will be in your hands, Father, and that you'll be able to work through them to accomplish your righteousness on this earth. Thank you, Father. We praise your holy name for Jesus, the one who has sanctified us and made it possible to have forgiveness of sin and this incredible relationship with you. We thank you for him, Father. And we ask that you watch over us and help us to be a light on this day. Give us the strength, the wisdom, and the courage we need to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, we ask this prayer and we give thanks. Amen. I am a child of God. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. You're heir to the promises of God, the presence of God, and the power of God. And if God is for you, it does not matter who is against you. You all have a magnificent Monday. Continue to keep me in your prayers as I pray for you. Have a blessed day, y'all.
All right. Pain with Faith, we had to switch the game up a little bit. We're going to do our first live painting class on today. I'm going to wait to see if some people are going to join in and watch what we're doing. We know the summer is coming up. Kids are going to be stuck in the house. Artists are going to be kind of stuck, in their space. And I want to offer some opportunity for people to do their painting classes, while they're at home. So we're going to offer some opportunities all next week. I'll tell you the dates and the times when we're going to be, doing these classes. I see some people joining in. Appreciate that. But Paint with Faith, we want to be able to go global. We want to be everywhere. We want to be able to do and service more people. If you don't know who we are, we're a motivational painting company. So we're what you will call an amalgamation or a combination of a motivational speaker or a life coach and also an artist. So we took those two worlds, we combined them,
and that's what we have is Paint with Faith. So we're going to get some more people on. If you are an artist, if you have some art materials, go ahead and go get them. If you have a canvas, if you have a paintbrush, go grab those things. If you're going to do watercolor or oil paint or acrylic, I'm going to be using acrylic on today. If you want to do any of those things, go grab them now. Give you an opportunity to do that. We're going to probably do maybe like a 30-minute class to get people activated, get people involved, and we want everybody to be inspired about what we're doing. So a little bit about Paint with Faith is we've been in business for over 6 years, and we want to be able to teach people faith, using the means of art, using the means of expression of art. And so people are able to take their abilities as an artist and be able to be better at it with the faith. Sometimes you may find artists kind of pull back, kind of shutter back from what they're able to do. You might be an artist, but you may not be able to be a business owner because you might be too scared to take that step, or you may be fearful that you may fail. But I'm a prime example of how you can take art and become a business owner and be successful at it as well. So we want to be able to encourage and motivate both people. What we want to be able to do is we want to have people who are artists who may not know they're looking for motivation, so they'll meet that need. And then we have some people that may need motivation and who may not be an artist, so they'll meet that need. So we're going to be able to meet the needs of both people, to be motivated and to be able to create something beautiful. And then a piece that you have at the end is going to be an opportunity for you to see what you can do if you put your mind to it. Again, we're a motivational company, and we use art as a means for you to exercise that faith within yourself. And we believe that if you can complete a beautiful painting, whatever we decide to do, then what else could you achieve in your life with just some guidance, just some motivation, and just some faith in yourself? Because if you can do that, then what else could you achieve? Your goals, your dreams. If you want to buy real estate, if you want to start a business, if you want to be a dancer, football player, for the kids out there who aspire and do great things, if you want to be an entrepreneur, listen, we're using this means of faith as an example for you to exercise it. So if you've never taken a chance in your life, take a chance with art. At least you can see how far you've come without the abilities. So our motto is your life is a canvas painted with faith. So if you can do that, then your life can be whatever you want. It's up to you to go ahead and paint it with faith. So I'm just waiting for a couple more people to get on. I see, all the people that's out there. My cousin Donna, Janine, thanks for watching. We're gonna get started in a minute. Again, I said if you have any art materials, whether it be paper, whether it be crayons, markers, you can do this. The steps will be the same. You can do it with any media, but just follow along with my lead, and I'll show you and guide you some techniques. Something that I normally don't do in my classes is give you special techniques. Special techniques will allow you to do what you need to do. And sometimes when you're in my classes or any art class, you may be afraid to raise your hand and say, what brush are you using? Or, I'm not getting the effect that I want with this. So with this class, with this interactive class that we're going to be offering, you'll be able to ask those questions. I'll give you an artistic answer. I'll give you a professional answer. If any of my students are online watching, how you doing, Mr. Davis? I've been out here, teaching kids since 2006, teaching them art in Miami-Dade County. And if you're on here, these are some lessons that you already learned, but give me a shout out if you need to. But we're gonna get started in about 2 minutes. Again, this is a Paint with Faith virtual class. We're gonna be offering this class all next week. I'll tell you the times. You can have your children tune in. They can get a free art lesson from Paint with Faith. We're gonna do maybe 4 or 5 paintings next week, and I'll give you specific times so they'll know when to tune in. And they have beautiful paintings. So parents, if you want your kids to learn some art lessons, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby. A lot of places have canvases. You don't need the most expensive stuff for these lessons that we're going to do, because we're going to be teaching special techniques. And again, our goal is to have people motivated with our classes. Again, we're a motivational company that takes art, and we're going to use that means of not knowing what you're doing, which is your life is a blank canvas, to bring you to some concrete materials, some manifestation of your faith, some things that you can exercise your faith with. And so we're going to bring those two together and see what you can achieve when you live your life and paint it with faith. Your life is a canvas painted with faith. So if you're ready, let's get started. I'll tell you what materials you need. I'm going to be starting with some brushes. I have a wide brush here. All right, let me get, oh, there we go. All right, see, this is going to be new for all of us, so I'm very excited to see how this goes. So we're going to use this red brush here. This will be my white brush, and I'll use this small brush if you want to know what type brushes I use. I use Taklon brushes, and I like to use the plastic one because they last a long time. I can beat them up, I can drop them. The best thing you need to know is if you leave it in water, if you have wooden brushes, you leave it in water, this will swell, this will come loose, and then your brush is destroyed. So that's just a little quick art lesson, just a little tip. If you're going to get your kids some brushes, don't get the wooden brushes, get some plastic brushes. I'm using Taklon, Taklon brushes. The bristles last a long time. You can beat them up. One lesson, if you don't clean your brush out properly, your brush is going to be ruined, all right? So make sure when you're teaching your kids to paint, make sure they don't leave the brushes with the paint on them. Make sure they wash the brushes out thoroughly so they can last a long time. So I'm using Taklon brushes again with the plastic handles. I got a bowl of water here. Listen, this is a very low budget class. Parents, you don't have to go out and get the most expensive things. Again, if you do get the most expensive things, the quality is going to be better. But if your kid is just learning, just starting out, learning how to paint, let them get a chance to get their feet wet, so to speak, and be able to, really the technique is what you need to learn through these Paint with Faith class. So I just got a regular paper plate with some paint on it. I'm using red, blue, yellow. The primary colors are red, blue, yellow. Again, I'm an art teacher at heart, so I'm gonna give you some lessons throughout this class. I'm gonna use green, which is a secondary color, the only one I use because it comes in a bottle. And then black and white. So we're gonna be doing, and then lastly, most of all, we're gonna need our canvas, all right? If you're watching, type in I can, because this is called a canvas, not a canvas, all right? Which means whatever goals or things you need to achieve in your life, you can do it, all right? Normally in my classes, I have everybody repeat after me. If I believe, somebody type it in for me, if I believe, I can achieve. All right, so give me some likes if you like that. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And if you say those things in your times of doubt and reconsideration, then you'll be able to achieve your goal. So again, we got our canvas. It's not called a canvas. Don't say I don't know how to paint. Don't say I don't know what I'm doing, because you can. This is called a canvas. So, and then I have, normally I use washcloths, but if you have kids at home, if you're a parent and you don't want the kids messing up your washcloths, you can go ahead and just use some, I use like a stack of napkins or paper towels to dry their brushes off with thoroughly. It's up to you. If you have extra dirty washcloths that you want to get rid of, art is the best way to do that. So let's get started. It's going to be this is our first free lesson. I'm very excited. Thanks for joining in. Again, this is the Paint with Faith digital version or virtual class that we're going to be offering for the month of March, but spring break purposely. So we're going to have spring breakers painting with us all next week. Again, I'll give you the date and times. But if you have your paint, your brush, if you have markers or crayons, this is still going to work. You can follow these steps. We're just going to do a very simple landscape. This is mainly the first painting we do for all of our classes with new clients. If we have senior citizens clients, they're able to do this. If we have young kids, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, they're able to do this. And when we go and do our pop-up classes at events, at the stadium, at a festival, we do this painting because it's the easiest thing. When you look at it, it's relaxing. We're in sunny South Florida, and it's just a beautiful scene. We have a lot of people down here from the Caribbean and from the islands, from Cuba. And so this scene reminds them of home. So again, we're gonna start off with our big brush. Again, Taklon brushes, if you're just tuning in. This is called a Royal Taklon. I'll tell you at the end where I buy it from. Again, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Michael's. I don't know if CVS or Walgreens have canvases and brushes, but most places that have a canvas and a brush for you. Go grab it for next week. We're gonna do a couple free classes. You can tune in. And so let's get started. So we're gonna start off with our big brush. And we're gonna get some yellow. Again, I'm just show you every single step. Just follow my lead. If you have a marker or crayon, even if you just got a pen and you just want to learn how to draw a canvas, draw a landscape, you can use a pen or a pencil as well. But we're just gonna do this and we're gonna have fun. I'm using this 8x10, very small canvas to make the class short. So I'm just gonna do a yellow line straight across. So if you have the paint, you can do this. If you have a yellow marker, you can do this. If you have, a pen or a pencil, you can do this, because we're really teaching just the technique here, and we want to be able to give everybody just the technique and the process. And our goal is to have a beautiful painting. Again, your life is a canvas painted with faith. And we also believe that there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. In life, you make no mistakes, you just create new opportunities. And we want you to be motivated through this. So if you're going to be able to make a mistake in life, just consider it a new opportunity for you to learn. We don't take L's, we only take lessons. All right, so again, this is a motivational painting class. The ability to have something to look at that you said you completed is the process of you exercising your faith and understanding that if you achieve the goal of finishing this painting or a piece of artwork, then what else could you achieve in your life? So we're going to just take this yellow line, we're going to paint it all the way up to the top. We made a mistake there. It's okay. No mistakes in art. Just room for opportunity. Watch that turn into something beautiful and creative. And I've learned in my life that if I just keep on painting, and that's synonymous with keep on living. So if I keep on painting, then again, some things will be revealed to me. The mistakes I think I made are some corrections that I think I needed to make in my life. So it's important that we make those mistakes. It's important that we take those chances, because sometimes beautiful things come out of what we call mistakes in life. But we don't say we don't make mistakes. We just create new opportunities. So let's go ahead. We're going to fill this top piece all the way. All right, so the top part of our canvas is going to be all yellow. All right. Now, I'm not going to clean my brush off. I'm the type of artist to keep my brush whatever colors on it. I'm not going to do that today because I don't want you guys to get, some people may have, so-called OCD or just be tense about this. But normally I don't clean my brush off. I just paint till all the color goes out. All right, so I'm going to keep it yellow on this brush this time. You can see that right there. I'm going to put a little bit of red on it, just a little dot. All right, because again, with these classes, the best thing about it is you're going to have different techniques that I'm going to teach you. It's really about the way you use the paint, the canvas, and the brush and the water to really bring your painting together. So the same thing about life. It's really what you use and materials that you have that's going to bring out the best in you. All right, so with that red, I'm just going to do a red line right at the top. All right, and I'm going to take this slow because I want everybody, if you're just tuning in, to see what we're about. This is our first Paint with Faith virtual class, and again, it's going to be very basic. I'm getting my feet wet, trying this new material. Again, all the Paint with Faith classes have been canceled for the rest of the month until further notice, but I still want to be able to connect with you and give you what you need in the process of some art and some motivation. All right, so we put an art motivation together, and that's how we got Paint with Faith. So we're going to take that red line, and we're just going to go left. Now, the key to this, to making this work properly and to get the proper blend, and makeup is called ombre, but in art is called a gradient. So to get the perfect gradient, I want you to go all the way left and all the way right. Now, if you're an artist and you have some different techniques, you want to do different types of strokes, listen, feel free to do that. But for you who's still learning and just want the technique part, I want you to take your brush all the way left and all the way right. This allows the paint to wear down, the red to wear down, and it's going to allow us to get more yellow into the painting. So we're going to go left and right, and you'll start to see the red fade and the yellow come in. And that's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want. We want the red to stay where it is, and then that yellow start to take over as we come down. All right, we don't want to go all the way down, maybe about halfway. We want to have a couple streaks. If you go outside and maybe about an hour or two, you'll start to see these streaks. You want your sky to look just like that nice sunset. All right, you can see that's blending in very nicely. Get these little edges right here, and sometimes I'll take some of this red up here and I'll just take a little short line and I kind of just dash it across. All right, just dash it. This is just me being free, just feeling myself a little bit. Again, it's a motivational painting class. If you just tuning in, tell your kids to grab some markers, tell them to grab crayons. The effects still work, the techniques will still work, and everybody can do this. We're gonna Paint with Faith is not about you learning to be a master artist, but it's really about you exercising your faith as an individual to learn what you can do in life with just some guidance, some motivation, and just some faith in yourself. Now, again, we're going to be doing these classes. I'm going to keep repeating it. We're going to be doing some free classes all next week. We know the kids are home. It's really the real spring break. So the real spring break starting next week. I'll give you a time for your kids to join in. We're going to do a couple paintings next week. If you need to, go get some canvases from Walmart. Get your canvases. from Michael's, wherever you need to get them from, get them for next week. Get about 5, and we'll be able to do some painting classes together. I see some of my students joining in. What's up? I see people from all over the country. What's up? Again, it's our first digital or virtual Paint with Faith class. You can go back and watch it if you want to see it from the beginning. But we want people to be motivated most of all and encouraged with their abilities as an artist. All right, so we got a nice, beautiful sky. I think I'm feeling myself. I like it. You like it? If you like it, give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, give me something. Tell me you like it. Now, the next step we're going to do, we're going to clean our brush off. And if you need me to slow down, just say so. If you need a comment, if you have a question, you can type it in there. I'm going to use my washcloth. I have very simple materials this time. Again, I got a canvas. I got some napkins, some paper towels, plate full of colors. Very low budget version, but we want the kids to really get the technique. So after that, we're going to get, with our big brush, again, big brush, we're going to get blue. And we're going to paint the second half of our painting with blue. We're just going to, listen, this line doesn't have to be perfectly straight, all right? We're just laying the foundation. Again, there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity. We really want to be able to just learn the techniques of what we're doing. Normally in my Painting Faith class, I can't really go into many techniques, but I will start to go into techniques as we develop this class and we develop the fellowship of this class. And I'll start to give you more techniques because it's really about the technique, not about the materials. And, you know, many artists, they use whatever they can use at the time to develop what they need to develop. So we're just going to take this big brush and we're going to fill this bottom piece all blue. All right, so again, this is our first digital class, first virtual class. We're going to be teaching techniques to your kids. Get them some art materials, some canvases, some paint. All right, if you can afford the canvases or the paint, you can use crayons and markers. The steps will be the same. Of course, it's a different media. Media is another term for using different type of art materials. So different media is fine. The steps will be the same. So if I were using markers or crayons, I would have just used a yellow marker and fill that whole part yellow on a regular sheet of paper. I would have got a red marker and came across the sky. I would have got a blue marker and went across the water. So these steps will still apply for any media. Again, media is another term for different art materials. All right, so we're just going to be doing a basic landscape here. Very excited for the people that's tuning in. Thank you so much. We're really trying to develop an audience for these virtual Paint with Faith classes. We're not going to do any summer camps for this, any spring camps for next week. So I'm going to offer the kids to tune in from the spring camp. I'm going to tell all my clients and all my customers that they can tune in. For the senior citizens who may be stuck at home, if you have a parent that may be stuck in an assisted living facility because they can't go out, get them a canvas, get them a paint, tune in. I'll let you know the days and the times. You can always go back to the live and show it to them as well, and you can walk it through them, and even you guys can paint together. Again, I'm just using acrylic paint, canvas. We have a big brush, small brush, washcloth, a paper plate, and a styrofoam bowl of water. Very simple. We're gonna do low budget. Give me some thumbs up, some likes if you're liking what I'm saying. All right, I'm cleaning my blue brush off. And give me a thumbs up if you want to put some clouds up there. Let me know if we should put some clouds. See somebody laughing out there, that's good. Let me know if we should put some clouds. Normally I don't do clouds, but I think we should do some today. Give me thumbs up or a love or a heart if you want to do some clouds. Got you, I see that. So we're going to take our big brush again, show you a special technique. We're going to get some white. All these techniques I pretty much developed myself from my years of painting as an artist. And I'll bring it closer to you so you can see what's going on. We're going to do, if you know any artists, you'll notice that sometimes they hover over what they're going to do before they do it. So this is an opportunity for you to watch. And you see some artists, they'll hover. This is why we want to connect or manifest what's in our mind to the canvas or the paper or pencil, whatever. So we're just going to do a circle. All right, a circle. We're going to start with that. All right. Doing art is just learning how to manipulate and use basic shapes. Then I'm going to make a medium-sized circle. All right, then I'm going to make a small circle. All right, with that, we have a very elementary style cloud. But if we take those circles and move them, we'll make our cloud more realistic. All right, and we'll just go from a big circle, medium circle, and small. And we just keep rotating our brush in that technique. We want it to fade into the sky like a real cloud would do. And we're just going to do these circular motions. How's that look? Looking good. I like to always use all the paint on my brush. I got a little blue in there, that's fine. and we'll start to create, a realistic looking cloud from that effect. All right, give me thumbs up or hearts, likes. If you like that, let me know what you think. Give me some comments. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is a motivational painting class. We're motivating people, teaching them art, teaching them different techniques. Normally, we can't show techniques in our classes because we don't have the time and we can't give that attention. But in these virtual Paint with Faith classes, we're going to give special attention to techniques and details. And for the people that's joining in, this is our first class, and we're just going to be able to develop this for kids that may be stuck at home for next week, and we'll teach them some painting classes as well. See that it's that Shakira, went to middle school with Shakira, so shout out to her. Thanks for watching. She know these techniques we learned from Mr. Monsino and all of these great people. Thank you, Coach Rowe. Thanks for the shout out. Again, we're going to create some more clouds. This is very basic techniques that we want to develop for people. Again, it's not about the art in these Paint and Faith classes. It's really about you being motivated, being captivated by what you can do, because you can do all things. All right. We always say that in our class, you can do all things if you put your mind to it. It's really about being motivated, being guided, and having faith in yourself. All right. That's what Paint with Faith is about. So let's do a smaller cloud right here. I'm going to do a line first. And again, we're going to do those circular motions, medium, and then small. So we'll start big, medium, and then small. All right, so we have that little cloud right there. And then from that, I'm just going to take that shape and just work with it. It's okay if you get your hands dirty. That's part of the job. All right, and then I just kind of fade these clouds in to the sky. All right, they don't need to be too bright. All right, we want to fade into the sky. And, I don't want my sky to look too naked, so I'm going to just throw another little one, in the back, inside the red, so it can show a little bit better. You see that? And I'm going to do the big one in the middle this time, and then two smaller ones on the end. All right. The best thing about doing clouds is they don't have to be realistic, and it's actually my most favorite thing to paint is clouds. All right. My college professor John Kittner, shout out to him. He said that I paint like a woman because I was very delicate with the brush. I took it as a compliment. All right, so those are clouds. They're looking good. Again, I don't like to clean my brush off, so I'm going to stay with the white paint that's on my brush, and I'm going to create, some reflections in the water. Again, you can follow step by step is what we did. If you need to go back and see where we started, that's fine. And we're just going to tap and pull, tap and pull, tap and pull. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing it very fast, tapping and pulling. I got some yellow on my brush from the sky. I love it. It's beautiful. And I'm just going to create some waves. Now, if you want some real waves, you can do that. You got the freedom reign to do that as well. And thanks for joining in. It's our first virtual Paint with Faith class. We want you to be motivated. We want you to be excited. And we want the kids to have something to do next week. So we'll be giving you the days and the times that we'll be doing these classes all next week. They'll be able to come in, watch, see what we're doing, learn some art lessons. So if you need to, go out, get some paint, get some canvases. We're using acrylic paint. You could try watercolor. You can use oil. Oil is the most expensive paint. So if you don't know what's going on, oil paint is the most expensive paint. So if you're not ready to delve in that realm yet, don't do it. Acrylic is the best thing, I think, for kids to get started. Watercolor is a very difficult paint for beginners. The best thing about this class, like I said, I'm going to give you techniques that you may not get to experience in our normal Paint with Faith class. I'll teach you techniques. I'll tell you what materials we're using, and I'll give you an in-depth look of what we're doing. All right. So again, I'm just taking some of this white that we use from the sky. I'm just making you know how you look out into the ocean and you see the water glistening, and you're like, oh man, it looks beautiful. That's what this is right here. All right. So I always tell my students, art is an optical illusion. We want the people that's watching it to believe in what we're doing. So we're just doing, like magic, really. We just want it to look like the water is shining, like the sun is shining on it. And we're just tapping and pulling, tap and pull. So we're just tapping and pulling. Again, I'm just showing you techniques, all right? This is not a master art class. This is for beginners who want to become a master. And we want you to just watch these different techniques. And I'm going to give you the basic technique. So you're just tapping and pulling, tap and pull. Again, if you want really choppy water, you can do that as well. I'm just going to just dab and just, put a little bit more in this bottom area. the farther you look out, the more white you'll see at the top. And as you get closer to the shore, you'll see less. So that's just a little technique. So next time you look at a painting or a canvas, this is what you. How's it looking so far? Give me some thumbs up, some likes. This is our virtual class. I'm very excited to see what people think about this. I want people to tune in again next week. For the kids on spring break, they'll be able to do some Paint with Faith classes. If you need a break for 30 minutes to an hour, you want your kids to sit down and learn something, Paint with Faith will be able to do that for you. We're not going out into the community physically, but we'll go out into the community virtually. So y'all tune in for us. I'll give you those times where you can tune in. So the hope is looking good. Give me some thumbs up if you like it. Going to clean my brush off again. Big brush. And again, this is a Paint with Faith virtual class, our very first one. And I think it's going pretty good. We live, I can make mistakes, but we believe that there's no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity in your life. Whenever you think you made a mistake, you didn't make a mistake, you just created a new opportunity. Again, we don't take L's, we learn lessons. So we want to be able to take some lessons from what we do. This is a prime example where we believe that your life is a canvas painted with faith. So if you can paint your life with faith, then it can be whatever you want it to be. You can make adjustments, you can go back and forth, and you can do what you want to do in your life. So it can be that creative. Motivation, guidance, and faith in yourself. That's what's going to take you to that next level. So I'm cleaning my brush off. I'm going to go straight to black. All right, we're going to create a little beach area over here. A little wooden fence, when you go out to the beach and you're walking down to the sand, there might be a little fence that's been there for about 100 years. We're going to paint that in. We're going to create a little island over here, some palm trees. And again, if you're looking out and the sun is so bright, it might be a silhouette. So we're going to go with that basic look. All right, so first we're going to create the little sandscape over here, going with the black, so big brush in black. And we're just going to create a little island right here on this side. All right, and I'll go very low and then I'll come up on the other side. All right, can you guys see that? Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to fill this in all black. All right, again, we're keeping it simple for today. Keeping it very simple for today. It's our first lesson, first class. Again, if your kids don't have paint and if they don't have a canvas, they can do this with markers. They can do it with crayons. They can do it with color pencils. They can do it with pastels. Any art material, the steps will be the same. You just need to follow along, and I'll give you step by step what you need to do. But if you have a chance, go to Walmart, go to Michael's, go to Hobby Lobby, one of those places, any local art store, get you some acrylic paint, get you a couple canvases. We're gonna do about 5 paintings next week, and you can follow along what we're going to be doing, so your kids won't be stuck in the house. You won't be stuck in the house bored. You'll actually have some paintings that you can hang up on the wall. So, so far we got those little islands. I'm going to switch over from my big brush to my small brush. Again, these Paint with Faith classes, I'm going to give you lessons that you may not get in the normal Paint with Faith class. I'll tell you what type of brushes I'm using. I'm using Taklon brushes. Again, we want to get the plastic ones. They last longer. If you get the wooden ones and you leave them in the water, the wood will swell, then it will shrink, and then this piece right here will come right off. So make sure that you get the right brushes for your kids if you want them to last long. And if you leave the Taklon in the water, they can last. So I got the brushes that will last. So we can keep going with these classes. Again, we're doing a beautiful landscape. It's our first class. We're going to have stuff for the kids to do if you're just joining in for next week, spring break painting classes. So make sure you tune in. I'll tell you those times and those dates. So we're going with the small brush and black. And let's create a palm tree. All right, keep it real simple. Let's create a palm tree. Give me some thumbs up if you like it. Give me some hearts. So we'll start with a tree right here. We'll do what you want to do, 3 or 2. Give me which one, 3 or 2 trees. Let me know. Let me get some involvement, get some activity. We'll start towards the middle over here. I'm just gonna go straight up. All right, now to make thinner lines, again, techniques. I'm gonna give a lot of techniques in these classes because you may not normally get them in our normal classes. So I'll give you special techniques that I may not say in the class in order for us to have the right time. So we're gonna take our brush, and in order to make thin lines, all right, we're gonna spread our brush kind of in a flat way. We're gonna flip it spread it again. All right, and you can get an up close look of what you may have. If you turn the brush to the side, you can have, you know, more of a thinner line. So if you want thin lines, you're going to turn your brush in a thin way. If you want wide lines, you turn your brush the other way. All right, using your brush is a special technique that you're going to be able. All right, I see 3. You want 3 trees? Appreciate that. Got you. So that's 1 tree. We're going to keep it thin. Now, when you're painting, it's always easier to start small and then go bigger. Like if I was doing these clouds, I could do a small cloud, go bigger. But once it's bigger, it's going to be very difficult to go smaller. All right, so let's do 3 trees. We got 1 going here, 1 going here, and this last one will kind of, you know, like, you know, when you're walking with some kids, you have 3 or more kids. You see, you have 2 that's following directions. Then you may have the last one that just going their own. So that's what this tree is. It's just going to be that tree that goes on their own. All right, so that's going to be the basis of our tree. Now, I'm going to show you 2 different techniques, okay, with doing these trees. Sometimes I'll use the black to give me a better variation of color when I get to the green. So we'll do both and see which one we like best. All right, so let's start with this one. If you have your brush and your paint, I have the audience kind of go with me and we say this together for interaction. Everybody say right. Okay, so I can't hear you, so just type in right. Okay, so we'll go right. All right, and then everybody say left. You know, you could just type in left. I'll just move a little bit faster because, you know, I just want to get you guys involved with me. I'm glad you're joining in. Again, we're going to be teaching painting lessons. We're going up and then up. Painting lessons for the summer. They go down, and let's do an extra one today. Let's go down again. All right. So, you know, that's the basis of our tree. Now I was saying, thank y'all for joining. I appreciate that. So the key to this, and again, I'm giving special techniques that I normally don't give in a class through these Paint with Faith lessons. So this paint is wet. We want it to stay wet when we go to the next color. The better that it's mixed up with, the better it'll blend. So I'm going to take the black that's already in my brush. I'm going to take a little bit off, and I'm going to go straight into the green because I want the black and green to mix together. Now, we're going to go right along this branch, and we're going to pull down. Everybody say down. All right, Danielle, appreciate that. So we're going down. So we're going to pull down, down, down along the branch. Now we're not going to go on the branch down, but we're going to go away or perpendicular to the branch down. So we're just going to pull, pull, pull. Let me get closer so you can kind of see what we're doing. So we're pulling at an angle of those leaves to that palm tree. And the key is you're going to press hard at the beginning of the stroke and then pull softly as you coming off from the stroke. All right, so you pulling and then kind of pulling off at the same time. And you can even see that, you know, some of that black is mixed in with that green. That's exactly what we want. Same thing on the next branch. We're going to pull that black from the branch. We're pulling that black from the branch right into our brush. You can see that the black is kind of fading away. That's exactly what we want. All right. Again, in these classes, there's going to be different techniques that you may not normally get in a Paint with Faith class or any paint class unless you hire a private teacher. So we're going to be teaching special techniques. You see that? So I'm pulling that black off of the branch and I'm pulling it right into that green. All right, we're going at an angle, away. All right, going at an angle. We're just pulling those. So one technique also is I want the strokes to be wide or leaves to be wider and then progressively get smaller as I get to the end of the tree. All right. And then again, I'm going to go the other way this time. I'm going to go the other way. So again, we pulling away from that black. We're pulling that black off with the green. Again, the paint is still wet. That's what we want. And then we're going to do these last two. It's okay if you run into the other tree. Again, we're doing Paint with Faith classes. We're going to be teaching the kids next week during spring break. If you want to tune in, get them some paint, get them some canvas, get them some brushes. Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, any art store, you can have these things. And again, it's really about the motivation. It's not necessarily about being a perfect artist, but it's really about the motivation that you may need through these classes. We believe that you can do all things, and we believe that you can do anything if you just have the right motivation, you know, the right guidance, and then some faith or belief in yourself. That's what Paint with Faith is about. All right, so how the tree's looking? Give me some thumbs up, some likes. All right, so the tree is going good. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a little, again, I don't like cleaning off my brush. I will clean it this time just for the sake of showing you guys, cleaning my brush off. I'm going to get some pure green without the black. And you see how we went in this direction? All right, we went in this direction the first. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction. All right, same angle, opposite direction. Same angle, opposite direction. We're pulling right from that middle dark green line. All right, and this will give us a more realistic approach to a tree. Now it's important how you use your brush, because that's going to give you the illusion of real leaves. All right, you see that right there? That's exactly what we want. It's looking beautiful. I love it. So again, we did the dark side. Now we're doing the light side. And the contrast is what really makes art look realistic. The contrast of dark versus light. That's what's really going to take us to that next level. Again, we're going to go in the opposite direction with the leaves, and we're pulling from that middle line that we created in the beginning. All right, and we're going to do that. Now, anybody can do this. These steps I'm giving, more detail, more technique than you would normally get in a Paint with Faith class. And so we just want you to see how we do this. All right, anybody can do these classes, because you just got to be motivated. You got to be encouraged. We always say at the beginning of every class, if you believe, you can achieve. And so you can do this. This is called a canvas, not a canvas. So you can do this. All right. So again, we're going to go the opposite direction, pulling from that middle line. It's important that you pull from the middle line, and you're being very light, very delicate with the brush. Very light, very delicate with the brush. For the people that's joining in, we're going to be doing paint lessons all next week for the kids for spring break. We can't physically come to you, but we can come to you virtually, and we want you to be able to join in and paint with us. All right. Am I missing one? I'm missing one more. Let me get this last one. We're just creating a beautiful landscape here. All right. And I'm going to show you a different technique with the next tree. All right. So we started with the black, and we went in with the light green, and that's basically what our tree looked like. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like without going with the black. All right, we're going to create the next tree. Again, it's okay to overlap. In art, it's okay to overlap. In order to be a great artist, you have to learn to overlap, because you have to paint or draw on top of your last drawing. So we're just going to overlap these trees. They're brother and sister. You know, sometimes you have to sleep in the bed with your brother or your sister. You got your arm over there. You got your leg over there. It's basically the same thing with these palm trees. It's family, all right? So we're going to go left first. Everybody say left. All right, then we're going to go right. Everybody say right. Okay, then we're going to go up. Everybody say up or type up. We're going to go up again. All right, and then we're going to go down. Again, it's okay to overlap. Don't be nervous. We're going to go down again, all right? So last time we used black to start the trees. This time we're just going to go straight green. Thanks for joining in. I'll pull back some so you can see the full painting. All right, let's get this going. Again, next week we'll do these classes for the kids. You can tune in and see where we're going. So again, with this line, we're going to pull away from the line. Okay, perpendicular. We're going to pull down, 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 down. All right, it's again to use your strokes in a certain way. You don't want to use the brush the wide way, because you won't get the effect. All right, again, with these Paint with Faith classes, I'm going to teach you techniques that I don't normally teach. So you don't want to use the wide way. You want to turn the brush, which is basically like this. You want your brush this way, not this way. So the thin lines are this way, wide lines are that way. So I'm teaching you techniques that you normally may not get in my classes. All right, so we're going to pull very thin lines, and you can start to see how the bristles of the brush will start to give it that look like leaves. That's what you want. All right, again, we're going to pull down, 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 right from that line. All right, we're going to feel. And I always tell people in the class, don't be stingy with your leaves. All right, don't space them out like this. All right, you know that tree going to be hungry. Make sure you feed it. All right, don't be stingy with the leaves. Give your tree some life. All right, and if you made those spaces, go back in and fill them up. All right, don't do your tree like that. That's not right. That's not right. Make sure you fill up that tree the proper way. Again, we're going to next direction. It's okay if the trees overlap, they family. All right. If you're married and y'all laying in the bed, you know, the leg just fall over the place, your arm is over somebody else. You know, that's family. And these trees are family, so that's what it is. All right, so we're coming down, we're pulling from that line. Hope I'm not going too fast. Again, we just pulling down, boom, 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 boom. All right. If you're just tuning in, again, we're gonna be teaching these lessons virtually next week. All right. Sometimes we do two layers of leaves. Sometimes we do one. So you can see the difference right there. All right. Let's do on that last tree. Let's do the last tree. We're going right. All right. It's okay to go off the page. All right. I remember we used to say stay between the lines. You don't have to stay between the lines. You can be free. You could do what you want to do with these classes. You could be experimental. Again, there's no mistakes in art. Just room for opportunity. And we want you to be able to have great opportunities in life. All right. You don't make mistakes. You learn and you get new opportunities. You don't take L's. You learn lessons. So this is what Painting with Faith is about motivating you. It's about guiding you. It's about getting you to see how you can take a blank canvas. We started with a blank canvas. If you're just joining in, we're going step by step. Now your life is a canvas. You got to be able to paint it with faith. It's important that you take your guidance, your motivation, and the faith in yourself into something. If you want to be great at anything, you got to be able to have some motivation, either from someone else or from yourself. If you need some guidance, if you need to go to school, if you need a teacher, if you need a mentor, you need to get that. And if you take those two things and you add the faith that you have in yourself, your abilities, your gifts, whatever's inside you, you bringing that out, then you can achieve whatever goal it is. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a business owner, if you want to be a dancer, if you want to be rich, whatever it is, all you need is motivation, guidance, and faith in yourself, and you can achieve whatever goals or dreams that you have in your life. So your life is a canvas. Let's paint it with faith. So we're going to do this last tree. All right. Again, we're going to go right. Again, it's okay to overlap. It's okay to go off the page. We're going to go down this way. We're going to go up this way. We're going to go down right here off the page. That's fine. And I'm going to just finish this off with some, like we've been doing. Again, hold your brush this way for thin lines, this way for wide lines. I'm giving you techniques that you may have never seen or heard from our Paint with Faith classes, because now we're personal. You can ask questions. We can go in-depth look. Thank you, Angel, for the shout out. Give me some likes, some hearts. Share this with some people who may want to learn art. We're going to be doing free classes all next week. I'll let you know the time. Stay tuned. Stay into what we're doing. Again, Paint with Faith. You can go online, get more details about what we're about as well. paintwithfaith.com. Follow us on Instagram. Give us some likes. Give us a recommendation and book some classes after this whole time off. All right, so we're gonna go with that line. We're gonna just pull down, 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 down. All right. And if your kids have markers or crayons or color pencils, they can follow these same steps, and they'll just have they're painting a different medium. It's okay if they don't have paint, if they don't have a canvas, but they can still follow these steps and create the same technique. These are just techniques. Again, Paint with Faith classes, we're going to teach you the techniques. And can you have this construction paper? Definitely use construction paper. Again, you'll be able to do this, but you have to cut those strips very thin when you come to that. Because I really love doing collages. Collages are very exciting. Maybe we'll do that for one of those days next week. And maybe we'll do a whole series of landscapes with this, but different materials. Thank you for that shout out. Thank you for that question. But you can use construction paper if that's all you have. Construction paper, glue, and use the same shapes to create the same scene. All right, so you're going to be using some red, yellow construction paper, overlaying it, cutting some white, laying those clouds on top of it, especially if you work from back to front. Again, you got to be able to layer and be okay with layering those things up with construction paper. Again, you guys, any art question. I've been an artist since I was 6 years old, and I have over 30 years of art experience. So if you have art questions, I can give you an art answer. This is what makes this virtual class interactive and awesome, is that now you can get some full scope of what an art teacher can give you, a full lesson of what you may want to know or learn from Paint with Faith. And we'll even get into the realm of drawing and coloring as well with different materials. So how is that looking so far? Is that good? Give me a like, give me a shout out. Let me know what you think. I think I need one more right here. All right, so I did that first tree different than I did the second two. I'm going to go in with a little bit of white, not cleaning my brush off, and I'm going to do the other side of these leaves in a light green. All right, let me know what you think, which one you like best, because I did all three trees different. I'm going to do a light green and come across like that. Let me know what you think about that. And again, the way you paint with the brush is very important because you want those strokes to show. You want those strokes to come out a certain way. So you don't want to use the wide way. All right, you don't want it to be wide. You want it to be thin. You see how the brush rotates? You got to be able to rotate your brush while you're painting. All right, that's very important. The rotation of your brush. Again, these paint with faith classes are going to have different techniques than you normally would have in a regular paint with faith class. I'm gonna give you special art lessons, give you special techniques, give you special ideas that you might need to get involved with in these classes. All right, so we're done with the palm trees. I think again, I didn't want this class to be too long. I want you to be engaged. I want you to be involved. Again, this is our first virtual class. We're doing a beautiful landscape. We're almost done, believe it or not. So I'm going to clean my brush off. I'm going with the small brush. And it's important that you learn to layer your painting. So you always do the background first. I know sometimes we just want to get into it, but it's better to lay that background foundation first before you go to the foreground. And that's a message for you with motivation and with achieving your goals. It's better that you get the background first and then work your way to the foreground. Don't go out and jump too far and then fall, but you can be able to build the foundation, which is what we're doing, to be able to get to the level of success that you want. All right, now I'm going back with some black. I'm going back with black, small brush and black. I'm going to create a little raggedy fence over here in the corner. You know, when you go to the beach sometime or to a ocean, maybe a little raggedy fence. They're trying to keep the alligators out or the kids out or whatever. So we're going to do 3 lines, maybe 4, varying sizes. It's good to have, you know, varying sizes to make it look different, to give it a different kind of feel. All right, and I'm gonna make it actually a little bit taller because some tall kids trying to get into this water after hours. We don't want them to get in. So, so we're gonna create a little chain to keep them out. All right, but you know, eventually they broke the chain. Now anybody can get in. So we're gonna do 2 rows of that. Just whoop. There you go. Whoop, whoop. There you go. So I'm gonna keep them out of there just a little bit. All right. Well, at least it'll slow them down. They'll have to jump over to get in. So we have a little fence over there for our beach scene. We're looking good so far. Thanks for joining in again. We're gonna widen our trees up. We're gonna widen our trees up a little bit. The base of the tree will be wide and the top will be thin. So the base will be wide. And I'll bring this closer to you. We're gonna widen up the base. You know, because those palm trees, they're shaped kind of funny. So okay, we want them to be shaped that way. And I'll give you your art words of the day. All right, so if you need to, write this down. Organic lines. All right, organic lines are lines that are not perfectly straight. I like to paint with organic lines because then you can't make a mistake. It's organic. All right, so organic lines are lines that are not perfectly straight. You don't use a ruler. You kind of just freestyle them and go with whatever it is. All right, so we're making lines that are organic. The opposite of organic lines is mechanical lines. All right, mechanical lines are lines that you use tools to make, like a ruler or a T-square. All right, so we're sticking with organic line because these trees are organic. All right, they're made by a human hand. Some people may say I have a very steady hand, but it's still organic. I'm not a robot. All right, you're not a robot. And as straight as you can make your lines, it's still organic because it's made by an organic creature. All right, so we just widen the base of those trees up a little bit. And when you have more time, you may want to go over it twice and make it a little bit darker. This is just for lessons sake. And I like my trees to look kind of bumpy and not so straight because it gives me a realistic feel of a real person doing it. All right, we can print a picture out anytime we want. But art is the real realm of thing that can't be duplicated, can't be copied. Thank you guys for joining in. Again, it's a Paint with Faith motivational painting class. We're a mobile company, but obviously we can't go where we want and do what we need to do right now, but we're going to be able to do it for you virtually. So if you don't have it, get your canvas, get your easels, get your paint, and we're going to be teaching classes all next week. And I'm showing you step by step. We started with a blank canvas. If you're joining in now, you can get painting with us. And we're almost done, actually. We're almost done. Let me know what you think so far. And we got a few more things to do, and then we'll be done. Normally I may put some mountains in the back. Give me a shout out. Let me know what you think. Should we put mountains or should we leave it the way it is? Let me know right now. I'll give you a second to type that in. Mountains or no. If you want mountains, put mountains. If you put no, put no. But we're almost done. Again, this is our first virtual class. Doing this for spring break next week for the kids, for the adults, for the senior citizens. If you can't get out the house, at least you should be creating something, being creative, and being able to do something different. Danielle said yes. She said put some mountains up there. We're just gonna do them in black. Keep it real simple. I might do a little, technique to them. While I have you on the line, I might as well. So let me put some mountains out there. Now I'm not afraid to go right through these trees. So it's already black there. So I'm gonna just put a little mountain coming over here. All right. Again, organic lines, very bumpy lines, not too straight. I'm gonna throw a little island over here in between these trees so it doesn't look too bare. I'm actually gonna go right over that just because. All right. Come over here. These mountains will go a little bit higher. Can you see that? Let me bring it closer. All right, we're gonna go a little bit higher with these mountains. Very bumpy lines, all right? Not too straight. We want it to be bumpy. So I like to imagine riding on the school bus and I'm trying to do a straight line and your hand is bouncing around. All right, so again, this is a motivational painting class, Paint with Faith. We're gonna be teaching these lessons to the kids throughout the spring break. I'll be showing step by step. If you're an adult, if you're at home and you wanna do some art, we'll be teaching you step by step how to do it. Go to Walmart, go to Hobby Lobby, go to Michael's, get you some art materials. I'm using acrylic paint. You can use whatever paint you want. You can use markers, you can use color pencils, oil pastels, anything you want. And you'll be able to do the same class that we're doing, same steps, all right? The steps will be the same. The media or materials will be different, all right? So it's gonna be an easy painting class, but the most important part is that you have a beautiful picture at the end, because if you can achieve creating a picture with Paint with Faith, then what else could you achieve in your life with just some guidance, some motivation, and some faith or belief in yourself? You can achieve anything if you have those threes. That's the perfect combination for you. All right, we're gonna finish this mountain. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of white just to give it some variation. All right, a little bit of white and just come right on the edge of that, just to give it some kind of variation. All right, make it look a little bit more realistic, not too flat. Just to jazz it up a little bit. All right, if you're nervous about doing that, you don't have to do it. I'm just doing it for the sake of the lesson, for the class. Again, these classes are going to be a little bit more in depth than our normal classes, because I'll be able to give you some techniques that I normally wouldn't give in a regular Paint with Faith class. All right, so tune in next week as we do these classes. Make sure you follow us, make sure you like us. You can see us on Instagram. You can see us on Facebook, and then we're going to be creating a YouTube page just for these classes, so you can go back, follow up, and get lessons back to back. All right, so I'm going to create some grass down in the water. I'm going to use black though, just to go with the theme of the silhouette, and I'm just going to flick straight up. Everybody say up. Just going to flick really quick. See, just a flick of the wrist. I'm just going to flick up really quick to give the illusion of some grass down here at the bottom. All right. Just some grass down here at the bottom, just flicking straight up. All right, some foliage down here, some grass, just quickly flicking up. All right. Again, you want to hold the brush this way, the thin way, not the wide way, so you can have nice thin strokes, thin lines going up. All right. And we're gonna go all the way across. And again, different techniques. You don't want all your grass to be the same size. All right. Nobody's going out here and cutting this grass on the beach. Nobody's doing that. So you want your grass to be varying lengths. You can have a long piece of grass and then have a short piece of grass next to it. That's fine. This is your freedom. This is going to be relaxing. This is going to be therapeutic for you. All right. Make sure you're going in and putting all the things you need in this painting. And if it's other things that I didn't show that you want, when we do these classes, you can say, hey, can you add this or show me how to add that? That's what's going to make this class really interactive and more successful is your involvement with the painting classes. So again, next week, we're going to be doing painting classes all next week. Have your kids join in, get the canvas, the easel, You don't need an easel, but you can get a canvas and paintbrush. Go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. They have all those materials there. We're using acrylic paint, but if you don't want to get that stuff, I'll still show you the steps. It still works with a crayon, marker, color pencil, oil pastel, and all those things. All right, so we're looking good. We're almost done here. We created some grass at the bottom, and we're going to do the last and final step before I let you guys go. All right, we're going to do birds. Now, in order to do the birds, again, you want to get thin lines. So you want to take your small brush and you want to flatten it out. All right, flip it over, flatten out again. We're only going to use just the tip or the edge of the brush. All right, we're just going to use that. It won't focus because I'm on the phone, but right there, just going to use that edge. Okay. Now, when we were kids, we used to make like M&M birds, right? Y'all remember that? No, we're not going to do that. Okay, we're not going to use make an M to create a bird. That's not what a bird looks like. All right, I've never seen a bird wings curl under. Maybe some birds out there, you go watch the Nature Channel, but that's not what we're doing. And then sometimes we just used to do kind of like a check mark for the birds. Y'all remember that? Shake your head. No, we're not going to do that either. All right, we're not going to do that. We're going to do a special technique that we teach Paint with Faith students. We're going to flatten our brushes again on both sides. We want our brush to be flat so that when we turn it, that one looks kind of crazy. All right, so we want the brush to kind of be as flat. See how flat that is? See, in these classes, it's going to get techniques that you won't get in our normal classes. So it's good. See how thin that is? That's what we want. We don't want the wide brush. We want the thin brush. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So we're going to take that to make a very thin line. And we're going to put a couple birds over here. We're going to do 2 strokes. Everybody say 2. We're going to do 2 strokes in order to create the bird. And again, we're only using just the edge or the tip of that brush. All right, we want it to be really flat and thin. All right. All right, see how thin that is? That's perfect. That's ideal. All right. So we're gonna go right, and then we're gonna go left. Very thin line. Can you see that? All right, I'm gonna try to do it as best I can. All right, here we go. Here we go. So we're gonna go in, thin line. You see that? That's beautiful. That's what we want. All right. And then we're gonna go right from that, for the math teachers, the apex or that vertex point, and we're gonna come right there. All right. So now we have our first bird. Okay. We're gonna do about 4 or 5 of those. Again, 2 strokes. 2 strokes. And the birds can be varying sizes. You got some birds, you know, in the front, and you got some way in the back. So it doesn't matter how big or small you make it. Let's do a small one. Again, we're just using the tip of the brush. All right, we want our brush to be thin like that. Not wide, but thin. Okay, so rotate that brush if you got it big. And then we're gonna do a small bird right underneath, right over these mountains. And the wings will all have to be the same. Some can go up, some can go down. The birds are flying and flapping in different directions. That's fine. Let's do about maybe let's do 3 more. So, oh man, I messed up. Look at that. All right, no mistakes in art, right? You caught it live here. So what I'll do is I'll make this bird bigger, all right, because he's in the foreground. No mistakes in art, right? He's closer to the island. That's fine. No skin off my teeth. That's fine. It happens sometimes. You can always go back in and paint him out if you want. Again, smaller bird, and then we'll do one last one. A medium size right here. All right, so all of the birds are flying off in a distance. They're carrying their way. This is the full painting. All right, so we got some grass at the bottom. We got a little fence to keep the kids out. We got the water glistening. We got our birds. We got our palm trees. One of my old wrestlers joining in. Shout out to Eli. What's going on? Again, we're doing Paint with Faith classes, motivational painting classes. We're going to be doing these classes all spring break. And if you tell your kids to join in, I'll let you know the date and time. And I'll teach a different lesson every day. You don't need the most expensive materials. Canvas, brush. I use Taklon. You can use whatever brush. The techniques will be the same. The most important piece is that you stay motivated throughout the class. Don't get upset. Don't be discouraged. We always keep a pure positive attitude because it's not about the painting. It's about achieving the goal. And the goal is to have a beautiful or finished painting at the end. Because sometimes in life you're going to do some stuff and you're going to think you messed up. But you didn't mess up because there's no mistakes in art. And there's no mistakes in art. So there's going to always be able to create opportunities for you. No mistakes in art, just room for opportunities. So you don't take L's, you only learn lessons. And your life is a canvas. You got to be able to paint it with faith. So those lessons that you learn will make you better at what you do. And the lessons you're going to learn from your painting is going to make you a better artist. Have I had many challenges in art? Sure, but that's what's going to make this easier for you and make it better. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a business owner, if you want to achieve any goals in your life, you got to have three things. You got to have some motivation, you got to have some guidance, and you got to have some faith in yourself. That's what Paint with Faith is about. Motivational painting company. We're a mobile company, and we normally come to you, but this time we're coming to you in a different way, virtually, and we want to be able to give you the blessing and the gift of art. So one last thing before we close out. In order to be a great artist, this is your first art test, all right? You've been with me for a while. Some of you have been watching since we started, so I have to give you a test. I've been an art teacher for 12 years, so I got to give you a test at the end of this. You know, what do you need? And I want you to type in the answer. What do you need in order to be a great artist, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple seconds. What do you need to be a great artist? And I like some of the answers that come out when I put this question in my classes. Again, for the people just joining in, Paint with Faith motivational painting classes. We're going virtual all next week and for the rest of spring break. And we may be doing this for the duration of us being stuck in the house, because some people just need to get some stress out. Some people need to get motivated. Some people need some therapy. We're going to give you all those things in our Paint with Faith classes. We're going to give you therapy. We're going to give you life coaching. We're going to give you some beautiful art lessons. And you got just some relief, you know, going through these tough times. Nobody gave me an answer yet. The question is, what do you need to be a great artist? Very good. Vision. That's a good answer. That's not the right answer, but it's a good answer, okay? What do you need to be a great artist? Or how are people going to know that you're a great artist? And what do you need? And this is the end of our class, so somebody give me the right answer. In order to be a great artist, you need one thing that everybody knows that you're a great artist. Let's see if they get it. I'll give you one more minute to give that answer before we close out. What do you need to be a great artist? Faith. Very good. Good answer. Not the right answer, not the right answer, but it's a very good answer. Faith is necessary, guidance and motivation, but we need one last thing. Before we close the class out, I'm going to see if somebody can give the right answer. We got some people joining in. In order to be a great artist, you need one last thing, all right? And I'm about to give you the answer. This is an open book test. So what do you need? If you had my Paint with Faith classes before, you know what the answer to this question is. In order to be a great artist, that everybody knows you, well, you need one more thing. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to answer. We got faith again. That's not the answer. Your brand. Very close. Very close. In order to be a great artist, you need to have a signature. All right? Pablo Picasso, Monet, Matisse, Van Gogh, Renoir, Salvador Dali. All those great artists have a signature. And the most famous one of all is your boy Walt Disney. Everybody sees that signature everywhere. If you're watching Disney Plus, you see that's his actual signature. All right, that's right, Angel, your name. So we're gonna sign our name at the bottom. I'm gonna use white on this black for the high contrast so people can see it. All right, we're just gonna throw my signature in there, C, and then D, and I like to dot it with the I. All right. All right, so Chevis Davis. All right. Again, thank you all for joining in. This has been a Paint with Faith motivational painting class, and you got to be able to have faith, guidance, and motivation in order to achieve your goals in life and to be a great artist. Thank you for joining in. Share this video with somebody who you know wants to take some art lessons or learn how to paint. We're going to be doing this for the duration of spring break. I'll give you the date and time. Stay tuned. Again, this is our first live class. Thank you, Danielle. I think you was here from the beginning. Shout out to you. Make sure you check out paintwithfaith.com. See what we have. Make sure you follow us. Follow us on Instagram. Like our page. Share this with an artist. Let the kids know we're going to be doing this next week. They can do this. Go get your art supplies, all right? You can use markers. You can use crayons. You can use color pencils. You can use oil pastels. And I'm going to show techniques that you won't learn in a normal Paint with Faith class, so you can be able to have the best painting or drawing or technique that you need. Again, we just did a simple painting of palm trees, a beautiful sunset, birds flying with mountains in the sky. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys. Remember, there's two things before we close. Remember, your life is a canvas painted with faith. Now, we always end our class with the Paint with Faith song, and I can't hear you, but I'm going to imagine that you're joining in and singing with me. So the words are, I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. All right, so let's do it together. I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. Come on, y'all. I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. Last time, I know I can paint what I want to paint. If I don't know the way, I can paint with faith. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. I'll let y'all know when the next class is coming up.
Good morning, Rayfield. Let's get ready for our Monday morning prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, as we go out today, we pray for your mercy, your blessings, and your protection upon us and all of our loved ones. We ask for your wisdom to deal with everyone and everything that we may come in contact with today and the rest of the week. We pray for those experiencing any kind of loss, illness, or grief, and we ask that you wrap your loving arms of protection around them and give them the peace that only you can give, Heavenly Father. It is Monday. Let's get ready for a magnificent Monday. Good morning, Rayfield.
Well, Rayfield, it is definitely Monday morning, a magnificent Monday, and we are so proud and so privileged that we had the honor last week, Wednesday, April 14th, to provide the Pfizer vaccine for Rayfield students returning to school and community of Hollywood. I would like to say thank you to each and everyone in our wellness center, Miss Susan, Coach Kelly, Dr. Tracy, Mr. Frank, and everyone else who made an effort. Definitely Miss Vanessa and those in the front office who made an effort to help us advertise the vaccine to the community and to our students who are home. Let's continue to do that. Those of you who received the vaccine, you must return on May 5th for your second vaccine. And we can provide the vaccine again for those who have not had it yet. So please, guys, spread the word. Rayfield Family Literacy has the honor and the privilege of providing the Pfizer vaccine for the community. And we are very happy to be able to help those who need the shot. It is during this pandemic that we have learned a lot about ourselves and a lot about our community. We have bonded together. We are working together. We are Rayfield strong, and we are trying to remain COVID free. Help us do that by spreading the word. May 5th is the date that the CDR will be back to give the second dose of vaccine to those who've already had it and the first dose for those who need it. Let's be positive. Let's work together as a team. We are Rayfield Strong, and we are COVID free, and we are springing forward at Rayfield. Let's get our day started.
Good morning, Rayfield. It is another wonderful day at Rayfield Family Literacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge that we are beginning our beautiful, exciting counseling program. We are all excited because we are ready to move forward with our conferencing and counseling and dealing with anxiety, depression, and all of those feelings that we just need to handle. Well, everybody knows that we're in a pandemic, and even if we were not, we still have issues that we have to deal with as human beings. So let's talk about our Rayfield class curriculum for the counseling program over the next quarter. This is April. It is the beginning of the second quarter of the year. And so we have 6 weeks of activities that will take place in our counseling classes. So I just want to quickly share with you what that's going to be. So during the months of April, May, and June, we will be covering the following topics. We will have tons of tools to help us with feeling confident and coping with different types of emotional stress. For the first week, we're going to deal with anger, anxiety, depression, and sad feelings. We're going to manage all of those feelings. So we're going to call it anger management, anxiety management, depression management, fear, and fear and sad are basically the same thing, but sad management is what they have here on the curriculum. So that's 5 days that we will talk during the first week of our counseling therapy about those feelings and coping skills to go along with them. Each class instruction is followed by class objectives, materials pertaining to the level of accommodations for specific students. So what does that mean? You know, everything at Rayfield is person-centered. So that means that I may have some things to talk about with one person and some different things to talk about with another person. Okay, so let's talk about week 2. Week 2, we're going to talk about appreciation, compassion, kindness, courage, and fairness. That's our curriculum for week 2 of our coping skills. Week 3, we're going to manage confusion. We're going to manage loneliness. We're going to manage frustration. We're going to empower our students to feel confident, and we're going to learn how to deal with surprises in week 3. Moving right along to week 4. We will learn to identify things that we love about ourselves. 5 things that I love about myself is our first order of information and our first lesson. For week 4, what does it mean to be respectful is the second lesson. What does it mean to be responsible is the third lesson. What does it mean to be polite? And finally, managing self-discipline. We've heard about that before. That's week 4. Moving right along to week 5, we're going to learn tips that will help us to be reliable. We're going to learn what it means to be sacrificial, self-sacrifice.
And even a short period of time.
Wednesday, which would be of that week, week 5, we're going to learn what it means to be accountable.
On your mental health. It will help you to amplify.
The 4th lesson for week 5 is how do I control myself?
In an environment.
And then the 5th lesson in week 5 is what does it mean to be committed?
This color has been shown to create feelings.
I know that's a mouthful. 5 weeks of curriculum in our next quarter, or we're already in it. So April, May, and June, we will be learning coping skills and how to develop our character and deal with emotional stress and behavior. I'm so excited, guys. As you know, we're going to be staying later at school. We will be staying 2 hours later, and we will be learning coping skills. We will be learning anger management and emotional stress. Learning how to be a better person every single day is our goal here at Rayfield. And now that we've moved into our counseling services, we are so excited for all of you that will have the opportunity to participate in these. Staying 2 hours later, and we will be learning coping skills. We will be learning anger management and emotional stress. Learning how to be a better person every single day is our goal here at Rayfield. And now that we've moved into our counseling services, we are so excited for all of you that will have the opportunity to participate in these services. So let everybody know you won't be going home at 2 o'clock anymore. You won't be going until 4. And we're excited to have you here and work on our coping skills and work on our emotional stress. And in this great curriculum that we will be learning about. Let's get ready to rumble, guys. It's exciting.
Have a great day, Rayfield. Magnificent Monday. Chef Anthony will take it from here. Oh, I'm sorry. Art. Mr. Chevis will be taking it from here. It is Monday. We are going to have a great time with our art classes. Let's have a magnificent Monday. Have a great day.
Come on, sing the song. Tenors. One more time.
Good morning or afternoon, Rayfield family. Here are your weather forecasts for this week. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. High 86. Winds south southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, sun and clouds mixed with a slight chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. High 87. Winds south southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. High 86. Winds southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, except for a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny. High around 80. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy. High 84. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun with the chance of an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon. High around 85. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 83. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. These are your weather forecasts for this week. Keep your umbrella handy because some days we will have some rain in the forecast. Make sure that you keep yourself updated with the latest weather forecast as it will change from time to time by watching it from your television or listening from your radio or from any devices that carries their weather app. Thank you for tuning in and may you have a productive week. See you later.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave. You may be seated.
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Please pray along with me as we go to the Lord in prayer, going to Psalms 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye land. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pastures. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. Amen.
Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Somebody tell him thank you, thank you, Lord. Oh, come on. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, I want to thank you, Lord. Come on, tell me. You've been so good this morning, you've been. I gotta move on. Been so good. Is that anybody else's testimony about besides myself? Tell them you've been so. I see you, Betty Jackson. Been so good. Good to see you, girl. You've been so good. You've been so. Been so good. Hallelujah. And I just want to
We are still learning our Bill of Rights.
Oh, we have a right to vote.
I have a right to vote.
I have a right to see a doctor. I have a right to go to church. I have a right to humane discipline. I have a right to community outings. I have a right to talk. I have a right to education. I have a right to refuse treatment. I have a right to privacy and dignity. I have a right to make money.
I have a right to exercise. I have a right to.
Oh, sorry. I have a right to see my records.
I have a right to
possessions. I have a right to receive services. I have a right to no discrimination. I have a right to no physical harm.
3, 2, 1.
The resurrection of Jesus took everybody by surprise. The disciples weren't expecting it. They knew perfectly well if you followed somebody who you thought was the Messiah and he got killed, then that was it. We know of at least a dozen other messianic or prophetic movements within the 100 years either side of Jesus. They routinely ended with the death of the founder, and if the movement wanted to continue, they didn't say, oh, he's been raised from the dead. They said, let's find his brother or his cousin or somebody who can carry on this movement. We can see how those Jewish groups did that. This one did it differently. They had James, the brother of Jesus, as this great leader in the early church. Nobody said James was the Messiah. They said Jesus was the Messiah. Why? He's dead. They got him. Didn't you realize? They crucified. No, he was raised from the dead. The only way you can explain why Christianity began and why it took the very precise shape it was is, let's say it cautiously, first, they really did believe he was bodily raised from the dead. And then if you take the second question and say, why would they believe that? You can go through all the theories that they found themselves forgiven, that they had a fresh sense of the presence of God, that this was cognitive dissonance, etc. And you bring all those theories to the actual facts that we know on the ground from the first century. They just don't fit. The only way you can explain the rise of the early Christian belief that Jesus was raised is that there really was an empty tomb. They really did meet Jesus alive again in a transformed body, and the thing makes sense. Of course, when I wrote a big book on this, my philosophy tutor from Oxford, who was an atheist, read it, and he said, great book, you really make the argument. He said, I simply choose to believe that there must be some other explanation, even though I don't know what it was. I said, fine, that's as far as I can take you. I can't bully you into saying, therefore you must believe, because to do that requires a change of worldview. But once you change the worldview and say maybe there really is a creator God, and maybe this creator God really is sorting out this sad old world at last, then everything else makes sense in a way that it doesn't with any other possibility.
Hello, students. It is Coach Kelly. And guess what? The day is not Monday, but it's Tuesday. And guess what that means? It's Tasting Tuesday. Yay! So, we were pretty busy on Monday. We had some appreciation awards to give out. So, I had to be a part of that because I want to show all the students a support. So, we had to rearrange our schedule, but we got our Juicy Monday done on Juicy Tuesday, and it is Tasting Tuesday. So, what we have for you today, students, is going to be some cantaloupe. We talked about the sweetness. Cantaloupe. We have some pineapples. We have some apples, and those are our sweeteners, remember? Then we're going to mix some super vegetable. The super vegetable is the green leafy vegetable, which is called kale. And believe me, that kale is so delicious and is so healthy for you. When you get to the health and wellness class, we're talking about kale in the class, and it's one of the superfoods. So, also we have for you is some oranges that I've already sliced up, open and peeled. And then everything tastes good with a squeeze of lime. So we have some lime. So we're going to blend and we're going to taste, And we're going to come up with the right combination because today is Tasting Tuesday. So we have our trusty, Mr. Frank, in the background. He's recording for us. Yay! And so guess what? Let's get started. So, meaning pop it on. And we're going to start out with, I think, cantaloupe. And I love cantaloupe. It's so sweet. Cantaloupe. And I want to do a little taste test to see how the cantaloupe and kale taste. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now we're going to add a little kale. I guess we got to add a bunch of kale. Yeah, you got to hear that little sound. Yeah, it's coming. Luckily, we got 2 bags of this stuff. And you know, students, where we get this from. The pantry. It takes a lot of kale. Because I really want to get a good taste of this. We're learning as we go. You know, every day you learn something new, students. So we're learning as we go. There we go. And I'm going to give it a hint of lime. And to give it a hint of lime, you need to put lime. And let's add some pineapple. Let's see how that goes. Woo, look at that juice coming out. There we go. It's pushing out the kale.
I can smell that pineapple from here, Coach.
That pineapple smells so good.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh fruit. It's lighting up the whole clinic. I think I want to add a little apple. I don't know. We're just doing a mixture. We're going to just mix this all up. So let's just give it a little taste. Let's get our little excess cup so we don't make a big mess. And let's mix it up so we can get a little taste. Let's see here. Mix, mix. It's kind of green there, but let's see. Actually, I can taste all the flavors that we put into the juicer, but I want it to be a little sweeter. So let's see what Mr. Frank can recommend to bring it all out.
I'm going to say stir this up a little bit better.
All right.
Because I think it's not mixed up well.
Okay. So what we're going to do, here's our trusty judge here.
There we go.
Going to pour that in there.
Mmm.
And we're going to pour that in there. Let's get the perfect blend. I even see little droplets of the kale, whole kale. But nothing's wrong with that. Because we want to bring out the natural sweetness of all the fruits, right?
Right.
So, this is Mr. Frank's tasting cup.
I just told her to do that so I can get another taste. It's sweeter now.
It is?
Yeah.
Woo! Let me taste.
Mmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, now we know what we're doing. Let's get it going. That's Mr. Frank's cup. This is our excess cup that we put here. And let's get it cracking. Pop it on. So you know we got to make a big gallons of this because we give it all to the students and the staff. So that's that fresh pineapple going in there. Smelling so good. That pineapple juice, woo! Pineapple juice. Pineapple juice. So now let's mix our cantaloupe, one of my favorites.
That's filling up nice, Miss Coach Kelly.
Thank you for the little notification.
Yeah.
Let's close it.
Look at that.
Where's our excess cup?
There it is.
There we go. Let's mix it on up.
Still have a nice little bit of that kale in there to blend well.
Right. There we go. Yes. So let's see. Because you really don't need that much kale. Because kale is a very powerful taste. So let's give it a little taste here. Let's see. We got pineapple, cantaloupe, and kale.
Let's see. Really good.
I think all it needs is some ice. Alrighty. Let's get going. So let's get this all mixed up.
I'm sorry. And we had 8 minutes, so.
Okay. Well, here we go. Turn it on. Students, it's a lot of cutting up. We're putting all our sweetener in. So it's a lot of cutting up of the apples when you want to add apples as a sweetener. As you know, apples is everyone's favorite, the apple juice. It's everyone's favorite on the campus. And it's the most disgruntled. It's always popping out. So let's get this in there. Okay. Add a little bit more pineapple. Woo! This is a powerful juicer.
Got any more lime, Coach Kelly?
I do.
Okay.
That means whatever he asks for, we got to make happen.
Give it that little twang.
Wayne. I'm gonna drop an orange in there.
There you
Now
go.
we have the oranges.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we getting that juice in there?
Yes, ma'am. You got a little bit more to go. I'll give you a warning.
Alrighty. So let it just come on out.
Okay.
There we go. We're gonna stop it because we want to taste this, right? So let's grab our excess cup. Let's put it there. And this is right.
You know,
We gotta mix it up.
Yep.
How about that? There we go. There we go, students. Okay. Next, let's blend this.
You know, students, all the other staff members are going to be jealous of me because I get to taste all this stuff.
It has the whole entire clinic smelling good. So let's pour a little and let's get to tasting. And let's get to tasting. We're gonna get a new cup.
How does this go back on? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Now this is it.
That's it.
This is it.
No. I just want to salute you.
Oh, let's salute.
Yeah.
That, oh my goodness gracious. That was delicious. Let's finish it up. We don't want to waste any, so excess cup, it goes in there. Alrighty. Let's get it going. So, pop it back on. The oranges, oh my goodness. Go. There we go, students. Oranges are good in vitamin C. You know, people say when you get a cold, take your vitamin C. Do you have any oranges at home? Those are the things that we associate with oranges, besides that it tastes good. I'm popping this lime in because the lime gives it that little tang. And we're putting some more oranges. And now we're going to go ahead and finish it up with our cantaloupe. And by the way, this cantaloupe smells so good. And it's so sweet. There we go.
Couple of more pieces and then that's full.
All right. So that's the producer, director, cameraman, and producer. Our Mr. Frank.
That's it.
There we go. So we're done there. Let's close it. Where's the excess cup? Bring that around. And we're going to finish out the cantaloupe and the apples, and we're done.
Oh boy.
So, because we've come up with the perfect combination, so we know what we need. Alrighty? So let's turn it back on and let's finish this job. Tasting Tuesday. Now we're on to the apples. Woo! Those apples are unruly. They're like, I don't want to be juiced. Gotta cover it.
The cantaloupes are all gone.
Look how fast it fills up. And I believe that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna let it just roll off. The last bit of juice come on out, which was the apple juice, because this is our sweetener. And pop that off. Take our sweetening cup, our excess cup, put it there. Let's pour that in there. And let's mix it up. See, because you can tell the difference. So let's mix it. Okay. There you have it, students. It is Coach Kelly. Thank you for joining us on Tasting Tuesday, which is, normally Monday Juicing Cafe. But we can't let the week go by without giving you guys the juice. So, without further ado, guess what? I'll see you later.
Good afternoon. Hello. Hi, team. How are you? Today, I will be speaking with you on one of the Bill of Rights. And that Bill of Rights is you have the right to work. And you have the right to make money. By working, it will shape your world. There are so many disability people that want to work, but some of you guys are scared to take their first step. Don't be limited because you have disabilities. We have people that are doctors. We have people that are lawyers. We have all kind of people out there with disabilities. But do you think they let disability stop them? No. No. They was not limited to their disability. They kept pushing and they kept pushing till they did what they wanted to do in life. So guys, let's make the impossible possible, because all things are possible. All things are possible. When we begin to work can shape our life. It can make us have a better life. We can make our own money. We can buy things that we really need. There is 10 and 10,000 of disability people who want to work, who have disabilities. But disability, it don't limit you. Don't let it limit you. You have the right to work. You have the right to make money. If you have a supportive employee, it plays a big part in your working environment. When you have someone that will work with you, they'll be patient with you, they will train you, man, you can begin to work and you can begin to earn earn your money, because by that employee being supportive to you, it gives you more confidence in yourself. There are many jobs out there for disabilities with autism and other disabilities. When you go to apply for a job, I want you to remember this. Ladies, dress for success. Dress in a nice dress or in nice slacks and a nice blouse with it. No short dresses, no revealing clothing. No shorts, no tank tops. Clothes should be clean and ironed. You should wear shoes, nice shoes. Young men, wear nice slacks, no jeans. Wear a nice shirt, no shorts, and tank tops. Don't wear no sneakers. Wear dress shoes. Yes, go dress to impress. Dressing as if you are looking for a job. Searching for a job that you think that you like, that you can do, a job that you can be trained on. Anybody can be trained. If you pay attention to what someone is doing, you will be trained for that job, and soon you will be working on your own. And as I said before, if you have a supportive employee or supervisor, the more they work with you, and if they have patience with you, you can be trained. And when they train you, it gives you so much confidence in yourself when they are patient with you. So when you go in with an application completely filled out. Present a resume and dress for success. So when you go out, I'm saying good luck to you. Don't let disability limit you. Don't let a disability hold you down. You may not be able to do what one person do, but God has given you something inside of you that you can do. You can do anything you put your mind to and focus on. Don't be limited by disability. Don't let disability limit you. Reach for the sky, guys, because you can do anything that you really put your mind to. This is October at Rayfield. This month, all things are possible. All things are possible. Just believe it and receive it. All things are possible.